you on today.
Yes.
When I tell y'all it's gonna be a powerful, epic night tonight, I'm saying it because saying it because I know it's gonna be true.
Amen.
Okay? We got two magnificent, blessed, amazing guests tonight.
Overcomers.
I mean, for real. If you thought you was going through something, after you hear what they got to say, you're going to think again, okay? I mean, I know we all going through some things, but, you know, certain people, when they show you how to overcome in certain situations, now, I don't know if I would be able to overcome men. I think this is going to really touch y'all on tonight. So make sure y'all got some tissue close by. Y'all might need it, y'all might not. I don't know. I just know we got ours. Hey, Shataya girl.
Hi, Matthew. This is his first time on the show.
What's up, Matthew? Don't be saying nothing crazy either, Matthew, because we will come for you afterwards. Hey, Vincent. Y'all know this is a smack show. We ain't going to talk no smack like that on tonight, because we got some serious stuff going on. But we do want to say welcome, everybody. We're so happy y'all could join us.
Yes.
If y'all would like to donate to the show, please cash app us at $ Smack Show. Okay, $ Smack Show. If you want to donate items or gifts or be a sponsor for the week, if you have a business, inbox me and we will talk about how you can do that. Okay. Also, please don't forget November 22nd. Put this in your calendars. November 22nd is our 30th episode giveaway galore holiday special. Y'all want to be a part of that. If you want to win a big gift, if you want to be considered, I should say.
All that.
Donate $10. That's all you got to do.
Y'all know how we did it the last time.
That's it. You know how we do it.
Get that money.
You donate $10, your name will be entered into the big drawing. If you don't donate anything, it's okay. You're going to still be in a drawing. That's just how we do. Y'all know how we do. We like to bless people. Also, we want to let y'all know that this week will be, or I should say this week coming up will be the last week we'll be doing Smack Day on Wednesday until after the giveaway galore. Only because we're going to be doing a whole lot. Tanya Brown, hey girl. But so, I just want y'all to know that. What's up, Vincent? If I don't get a chance to say hi, if we don't get a chance to say hi to everybody, y'all know how we do. We'll come back at the end, or we'll catch y'all when it's over, and we'll say something to you when we can, okay? Also, let me say, I'm going to make sure that we can...
She's trying to get all the announcements out.
Yeah, I got to get all the announcements out, all the announcements. So I think that's really it. Shout out to our girl, Nicole Bell Blair. She's our paparazzi go-to girl. If y'all see us out here, and y'all see us on video, y'all know it usually comes from our girl, our cousin, Nicole Bell Blair. All right? So, once again, like I said, tonight our topic is Stop the Violence. And we trying to make some changes, all right? So we got to stop some violences. We hear somebody's phone. We think it's somebody listening to the show on set. It's okay. But also I want to we're gonna switch some things up here. We're gonna bring we were gonna bring our girl Faye up, but we're gonna let Faye go last, y'all, and we're gonna talk about our brother John. First of all, let's explain who John is to us.
Yes.
John is.
Oh man.
Where you want to explain him?
Talk about John.
Let's talk about John. John.
Edmond.
Don't bring him to the stage yet, though.
Okay,
don't bring him to the table. Let's talk about him real quick.
John is my brother. I have known John since 8th grade.
Yes.
So how old is that? Like 15? 14?
Girl, right. You really old.
You really old. Yeah.
50 years ago.
We 43 now. So that's okay. Hey.
I'm sorry.
We introducing somebody.
I'm sorry. Let's talk about John.
I have known John, and a lot of y'all know John. So we have not. This is John Edmond. So a lot of you guys went to school with him. We graduated from Sexton in 1995. Okay. They all were John.
Back before Sexton became Lean on Me.
So a lot of you guys, he is not on Facebook.
No,
he's not on social media. So a lot of you guys have not seen him unless you live in Lansing. But a lot of you are on Facebook that are not in Lansing, so you will get a chance to see him if you haven't been to town in a long time. So, I don't know.
But you know, some have seen it because he's been on the TV.
Yeah.
Oh, he has
been publicly speaking to many people.
Hey, Mama.
And, but him and my husband have been best friends.
I'm about to say it.
Like years before that. That's how he became my best friend.
That he only your friend because of your husband.
He's only
He didn't like you at first. I was playing.
Yeah, he's only my brother because he's been my husband's best friend since what? How long? Since 4th grade or something? Yeah. 4th grade.
Wow.
Well, you know, without further ado, let's start bringing.
No.
Okay, let's say her part.
She gotta have her
part.
Okay, first of all, I don't know if y'all have heard. Okay, I know y'all seen the flyer if y'all on Facebook and y'all on here watching right now.
Okay.
First of all, John Edmond, his daughter Amaya, was killed in a home invasion. Okay, she was killed in 2010, and during a home invasion by some. You said this already?
No, she did.
I saw the kids.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever the case is, he was killed in a home invasion. She was killed in a home invasion, and John is the father, and he had to deal with all of that. And I'm gonna let him come to the stage and talk to y'all about it because it was a very serious and concerning situation. And if y'all hear the story, I'm pretty sure y'all will be baffled by how God has blessed him. Now, hold on 1 second and let me get some things straight so I can tell y'all a little bit about John. First of all, John is a man of God first, okay?
Hallelujah.
He is a husband,
Amen.
He is a father,
Yes,
and he is a motivational speaker to the community, okay? He has spoken on different news networks about stopping the violence, you know, and, just all types of things, speaking up and, stop being silent, stuff like that. So, throughout everything that he has been through, God has been his provider, allowing him to speak out at different protests, marches, rallies, whatever. So, without further ado, let us welcome our brother, our friend, John Edmond. Give us 2 seconds for him to get linked up to the microphone. We want y'all to hear him, y'all.
He's coming in.
And we thank y'all for y'all donations because donations that y'all have been giving is allowing us to be able to get lapels for our guests so y'all can hear them more clear. Give God some praise. Throw some hearts up, y'all.
Throw some hearts
up. Our boy.
All right. Yes.
So we're going to get John set up here. Hey, John.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Love you.
Good to be here.
Yes, come on in, scoot over a little bit. Come on here, scoot over.
John, we love them dudes, y'all.
All right. So first things first, like I said, we know about you. I kind of gave the people a little overview about, why we asked you to come here today. I want you to kind of explain to people your story a little bit, and then we're going to get into it, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead and talk to the people.
Well, my name's John Edmond. I'm the father of Amaya Edmond. She was shot and killed in a home invasion July 23rd, 2010. That was the most traumatic event that I could have ever experienced in my life. But through God, He was my provider, and He's the reason why I am here today, spreading this message of stopping the violence and violence prevention, more importantly. Losing a child is something that you just can't prepare yourself for. But I was not prepared for it, so I did have to pray and ask God to help me through it. So through the questions and open conversation, I'll explain that further.
Amen. Well, John, we want to know. I mean, that's just crazy. I first of all, can you explain what happened that night to why this even happened to your daughter, and then explain how it felt when you got the call?
Okay. Well, the reason behind the shooting, Amaya's stepfather was involved in the drug gang, I believe, and according to some of the reports that are out there and some of the street talk, because the streets talk. There was an invasion at the house, a home invasion, and I believe they came there to either rob or kill her stepfather, in which shots were fired, multiple shots were fired at him inside the house. Amaya, it came to me in a dream, and she revealed to me what actually took place, and Amaya was hiding behind a couch after the first sets of shots were fired. Being that they were only 3.5 blocks from Sparrow Hospital, she runs up the stairs. I believe she saw the shooting herself. And out of love for her stepfather, she ran upstairs to check on him. And as she ran up the stairs, he was in fear, hiding upstairs behind a wall, and he turned and fired a shot and shot her in the forehead, and the bullet went through her head and lodged into a windowsill.
Wow.
I got the call shortly after midnight. It was the ironic thing about it is I was on third shift at the time. Shift started at 10:30. We had just came back from Mississippi, probably like the week before. It happened. So I didn't get a chance. The last time I saw Maya was that Sunday when we came back from Mississippi, and I took her home. I can remember her. You know, she gave me a kiss, gave me a hug, told me she loved me, and she got out of the car and she ran up to the porch, on her mother's porch, and then she came back to the driver's side of the car, and she gave me another hug, gave me another kiss. And she took off. So that was the last physical time that I had actually saw her. Now, she had been with my parents throughout the week while we were working. She was actually there that Friday with our son Julian. And my mother told me that Julian was actually crying when she left, when the mother came and got her. And she got out of the car, she gave Julian a hug and said, "It's okay, Bubba. Sissy will be back." So it was that Thursday night, around about 10:30 when my shift started. I had texted her mother to have her call me, just so I could check on her. She didn't respond to the text message. So my shift started, and I want to say probably around a little after midnight, I got a call from her stepmother, from her mother, and that's when everything changed. So basically what happened was I answered the phone. We just went to early break. It was probably around 12:30. Went to early break, and she's like screaming in the phone, "Amaya's been shot. Amaya's been shot." And I'm like, "Shot with what?
Right.
How did she get shot?"
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, "Where did she get shot?" And she was like, "Looks like a graze wound." So I told my team leader, because my boss actually wasn't there that day.
Okay.
So he was like, "Go ahead and get out of here." So in my mind, at first, I was like, I was so angry. I was filled with rage. And for those that personally know me, know that I come a long way, because my attitude, my temper was something that always would get me into altercations. And I felt my flesh rising up to the point to where, like, my forehead felt like it was on fire. And I ran to another department where my brother worked, my middle brother James. And I caught him out there at the smoke shed. Like I said, we were all on early break, so it was a bunch of people out there. And I said, "Bro," I said, "Amaya's been shot." I said, "I think she got shot in the head. I'm on my way to the hospital." So everybody that saw that stopped, just froze. So this is how my mind went. I couldn't even recollect what was actually happening. Like it felt like I was in a dream. So I called my wife, called my mom, told them what happened. My mom was such a shock. She tried to tell me to stay at work, and I'm like, "There's no way I can stay at work."
Right. Yeah.
And I was so dismayed that I was parking my car in row 8 every day. Couldn't find my car. I was looking for my keys. My keys were in my hand. It was raining. I almost crashed going down the freeway. And from there, I went straight to the crime scene. And like I said, I was enraged. I was ready to kill. I had never, ever felt that way. And I knew at that point something had to change. And so, I made it to the crime scene. There was some confusion because her stepfather had told the police that he was the father. And I'm like, "No, I'm John Edmond. I'm her father. I'm the biological father." So they took my keys. They parked my car. They put me in a patrol car. Patrol officer told me, she said, I'm asking her all these questions, like, "Where's my daughter? Where's my daughter?" And she was like, "She's at the hospital." She's like, "There's another shooting where a young lady was killed tonight too." And I said, "Well, is it connected?" And she's like, "Sir, I can't provide any of that information because I'm not really sure." So she rushed me. She took me to the hospital. We go through the emergency room, And the first person I saw was Amaya's mother. And I remember she had on all white, but she was covered. It was like the movie Carrie, when they poured the pig's blood on her. She was submerged in blood. And that just totally, I mean, it just totally took me to a totally different level. So, you know, she was pleading, I'm sorry, and trying to grab my leg, and I'm kicking her off me, and the security guard is like grabbing me because I'm like going nuts. Right. So from that point, they took me to the 5th floor ICU unit, pediatrics. So I got on the floor, and I went through the double doors, and there was I knew this was bad at that point because there was a police officer sitting outside the bedroom door. And he asked me who I was, and I'm like, you know, my name's John Edmond. I said, I'm Amaya's father. And he was like, not even a father can be in here right now. So at that point, you know, I felt helpless. I felt lonely. There was a sense of embarrassment for a tiny bit, because it's like, how did this even happen? You know, something to this magnitude with all this attention. How did this even happen? So, and this is when God started to intervene. He had already done it from the beginning. Let me make this clear. God is the author and orchestrator of everything.
Amen.
He's the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega.
Amen.
So everything that had happened was according to God's will. And at that point, I felt a chair being pushed under my legs. And it was a nurse. It was a nurse's station right to my left. And there was a nurse that came out, and she laid hands on me, and she started praying over me. And as she started praying over me, I'm pinching myself because it felt like a dream. It really felt like a dream. Yeah. And so after probably about the 12th or 11th time that I pinched myself, I felt every pinch. So, and still, I'm at this point, I'm still enraged. Like I can't calm down. Like my heart is racing, my head is hurting. I'm like, I'm just ready to go there. I'm really ready to go there. And by that time, my wife Sonia was in the room. Her mother was in the room, and she was on the phone with her husband, which is Maya's stepfather. And that's the thing that kind of puzzled me as to how, because I had just left the crime scene, I knew he was with the police. So how are they even talking? You know, and this is where the story got kind of crossed, because, and that's how the investigation became botched, because you're not supposed to have those two communicating. So there was some confusion on the police department's behalf, because they didn't know who I was based off the lie that he told. Which they could have easily found out who I was. So I was going off. I cussed her out, cussed him out, and like I said, I was angry. I had my flesh. My flesh was on fire. The neurologist comes in and he's explaining the wounds, and I remember him saying through and through, and I looked at him and I said, she's gone, isn't she? And he just gracefully backed out of the room. It was almost like he was floating. He just backed up, and walked out of the room. So I looked at her mom and I said, "You effed up." So, and you know, I walked out in the hallway, and this is where everything changed. Now, prior to, I was on probation for my second DUI. Okay. That was the 11th month. So I had no other choice but to pray. So I stopped and I prayed and I said, God, I know you just took me through a journey. That was a personal journey. He was trying to get my attention, and then he had my attention. So I said, God, whatever it is, I need you right now to take over. I said, because I don't know what to do. Nobody told me what to do. Not my mother, not my father, not my wife. Nobody actually told me. Not even my pastor told me exactly what to do. So this was God way of intervening in my life. So from that point, it felt like and I describe it to you how I told people back then. It felt like a cold bucket of water being poured from head to toe. That was the anointing of God coming over me. And at that point, when I felt immediately after I said that prayer, from here to my toes, it just felt real cold. And then all of that anger, it was gone.
Look at God.
It was gone.
Look at God.
And in that way, I was able, and that was the beginning of how I continued to, move through.
And that has to be a true statement, because look, we came. I don't know what day we came to the hospital. It had to be that night or the same day or the very next day, because we all came. Because I was on fire. I was like, I was ready to go back into my thug days. Like, okay, wait. You know what I'm saying? This family right here. But when we got there, I mean, I think your brother might have been more mad than you.
He was real mad.
John was really calm down. Like, he was really a peace. I mean, or not really a peace, but I should say he was really calm. You was handling it better than I thought, and better than because I was ready for it. Like, what we gonna do? You know, who we gotta call? You know what I'm saying? And that's it. So God had to be there. So I know that has to be a true statement. But
so after that, what did you feel? I mean, to know John, I mean, people, I mean, any tragedy, I mean, especially when we talk about kids, any death that's taken is hard, regardless. And babies, you talking about babies. She was how old?
7.
7, y'all. 7. Let's stop this violence. 7. We're going to let John finish it. Telling you guys what God did, how God changed the situation around.
Well, and I like to say this: I had a choice. We all have a choice. God gives us free will. And what He showed me was that I had a choice. The first thing I had to do was forgive. Which that really touched me, because I'm like, I know I'm not worthy of the grace and mercy that God provides for me daily. You see what I'm saying? So regardless of what the worst thing that anybody has ever done to you, just know that God is willing to forgive you for that and forgive them. So the lesson that He showed me in forgiveness is that when you forgive somebody, it's not for them, it's actually for you.
Come on.
So when I did that, I did this at the hospital. This was a process that God showed me. First I had to forgive. Then I had to accept what happened. So I'll take you guys while I was in the room with Amaya. The first time I saw Amaya, when I laid eyes on her, her eyes were wide open. I mean, they were huge, wide open. And I tell y'all this, I'm looking right into the camera when I say this. For those out there that have children, look your children in the eye, because that's where their true identity is. That's where their soul is, in their eyes. My daughter died with her eyes wide open, and I never realized how beautiful her eyes were. So I'm saying this. I said that, I thought it right at that moment, and I made a vow to myself right there in that room from this point forward. Our son was 2 at the time, that I would always look them in their eyes. So remember to do that. But I knew Amaya's chance of survival was very slim. I thought to myself, even if she were to pull through this, I don't want to see her in a vegetative state. And and then I saw my house retransformed with like a wheelchair ramp and all of that stuff. And I'm like, no, God, I don't. Your will be done. Your will be done. So that was all internal. That was going on inside of me while I was sitting there looking at her. And by this time, other family members were there, and I was at the foot of the bed, and this is what allowed me to understand that she was no longer here. I had stuck my hand under the blanket, and I had touched her. It must have been like her shin, and her shin was like rock solid. and it was cold. The rest of, because she was on a ventilator, like her arms and upper body were warm, but the legs, that's how I knew. And the look, you know, the look and the blood. And I knew I needed prayer, so I had to pray for myself because I didn't want to continue to see what I saw. I saw a lot. I mean, you talking about sleepless nights and waking up in the middle of the night. I was actually, because Amaya was on a ventilator, the Gift of Life came in, and they I was introduced to a spokesman from the Gift of Life, from a social worker from Sparrow Hospital. And at that point, you know, the lady is talking to me, and you know, I just kind of zoned off. It's like, you know, you have a thought cloud pop up in your head. Like, I started, I could hear her talking though. She was explaining the program, but I'm actually thinking about Amaya's life and the fact that she loved to help people. You know, she was always active helping my mother with her flowers and all of that stuff. And the color purple, how we came up with the color purple, that's my mom's favorite color.
I almost wore her shirt today, you know, but it got a little because, you know, I grew up in 10 years, you know, I grew up. I still got the shirt, though. I'm sorry, John.
So from that point, I said yes.
Good.
Not realizing I had like no clue what I was doing when I made that choice. I had no clue. But I'll tell you what, it wasn't until after the corresponding letter started to come through, I started to realize the effect of
Wow. So how many lives did she, or was she able to save from donating her organs?
She saved 5 people.
Wow. Amen.
3 adults,
Amen.
2 children.
Wow.
When they handed me the list, I mean, there's a plethora of things that you can donate. But we chose her heart, her kidneys, her lungs, and her liver. I've heard from all but one. The little boy, I think he might have been 7 too, or 9, somewhere around there. He got her lungs. I had never heard from him. But they'll explain to you, Get the Life explain to you, you know, sometimes the families, because they understand somebody lost in order for them to receive. So I was like, I was okay with that. You know, but I've heard from all of them. Mike Lopez, he's got her liver. Him and his wife Sherry.
Amen.
Hello, if you guys are watching. You know, he was one of the main ones that I've been in contact with, and when I first met him, it was like something that you could never imagine. You know, here I am grieving the loss of my child, but the perspective that I took from it is that she's still alive.
Living on through,
along with what the word said, her spirit never dies.
That's true.
So Amaya gave her life to Christ that year in May of 2010.
Amen.
And you know, she had a thirst and knowledge for God. She was amazed that my name, John, was in the Bible. My in-laws had bought her a Bible, and when I finally ended up cleaning up her room, I looked in the Bible, and there was a bookmark in the book of John. So it's still there. So that was my baby, and she really loved God. She accepted Him, and wanted to know more about Him. She asked my mother-in-law, my wife Sonia, how do I get to heaven? The year before. So we are in the making of writing a book on Amaya's life, and it'll be coming out real soon.
Wow.
Well, John, we are honored to have you here with us. I mean, I wish we could just spend the whole hour talking to you about it. You know, we always say to the people, we're going to have to bring you back for another, you know, another part 2.
We had questions, but he just
But yeah, we did. We had questions, but we wanted you to tell your story. For people that don't know, because I mean, 10 years ago, remember, if you watch the news, you remember. But if you didn't know John per se, you may not know or haven't heard.
Before leaving, I want you to just kind of tell the people from your heart. Give it about 2 minutes. If you can talk 2 minutes, I know John. If you can talk 2 minutes, if you want to say something to the people that's really the viewers, just say something to them from the heart, like how to forgive and stop the violence. What would you say to the people?
I'll start with the stop the violence perspective. And my perspective, I look at the violence, and I know we're in the world, and the violence will never stop. Right. When I first started speaking, I was saying stop the violence, but God renewed my mind on that, and He showed me we live in a sinful world.
Yes,
so
that's true.
The violence will never
true.
stop.
Yes.
So. Yes. There are preventative measures that we can take as far as what's internal. Yeah. So it's all inside your heart. So you have to kind of renew your mind, reevaluate yourself, and things that bother you, you have to really take those things to the Lord. If you were like me and had issues with anger, those things you have to surrender and give over to God.
That's good.
So that's the most important thing. That's the thing. And people talk about changing the world. Don't try to change somebody else.
Yeah.
Change yourself
first.
Look at what's inside, because it is. Trust me, it's easy to look at what somebody else is doing.
It is.
Instead of looking at your own
Come
mess.
on.
It is.
It's
Come on.
harder to
Take
look at
that
your own
blank out.
mess than it is to look at somebody else.
Wow.
You know, we can continue to work on ourselves. That will make the world a better place. I feel, in my opinion.
Amen.
Well, we love you, John, and we thank you.
Come on, y'all. Throw some love up, y'all. Some heart stuff. Come on. I mean, like, woo!
And the crazy thing about it is because
I was not gonna cry. You haven't told me that part.
As John and Faye get ready to change the spot, when I was thinking of the title of this episode, saying "Stop the Violence," I told them. I wanted them to come on to mainly show people, because like he said, we were just talking about this before we started. The violence is not going to necessarily stop.
It's not.
But the only way you can really stop violence is spiritually. Like you got to go to it in a spiritual battle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
And so at the end of the day, it's like what the word says. So you got to look at it like what the devil meant for bad, how God can turn it around for your good.
Yes.
And God turned that situation. It was a tragic, horrific, horrible, like you should be. I mean, in the natural mind, you should be angry. Yeah. But when you got God in your life and how God changed that situation around, she was able to give life the same way that God did. Ooh. The same way that Jesus did.
Amen.
He gave his life so that we all could be free.
Yeah.
And just in case you decide to give your life, because he's giving you a choice, because you don't have to. He's not going to make you. Yeah. You don't have to choose him. Yeah. Just in case you decide to love him. But just in case you want to love him back.
But let you know too, people, like, it's not that hard to forgive. It's not. If he can forgive someone who has done something like this to him,
who murdered his child,
we sit around and we harbor little stuff like, oh, well, they roll their eyes at me, or they won't call me, or they mad.
Or they got to leave the song at church and they didn't.
Let that stuff go, y'all. It's not even worth it. I mean, he's setting an example.
And so is our next guest.
And says our next guest.
And so, John, we love you.
Can I say one more
Go ahead.
thing about forgiveness?
Go ahead.
Forgiveness is a process.
Yeah, it is. It takes time.
It's not overnight.
So what I learned, once I forgave in that situation, it gave me ground to forgive in all the other times. You know what I'm saying? So once you go through something major in your life, it doesn't stop right there.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Come on.
So if you can forgive on the smaller levels, it's something that you gotta continuously think. It's a continuous thing. So just remember that it's a constant process.
That's good.
Well, we definitely gonna have to have him back.
Part 2 is coming soon, y'all. Stop the part 2. Y'all make sure y'all tune in, John. We love you. We're gonna get you unhooked. And y'all, I know y'all just recently heard about the shooting that took place up at Wing Heaven. A friend of ours lost her son, Marcus. And so we want we want to bring Miss Faye Hinton, Miranda Faye, I should say, because a lot of y'all may know her Miranda. We want to bring Faye to the table. Yes. She is a mother. Yes. Okay, she's a wife. She's a woman of God. Yeah. And she is a great woman. Yes. And she is just a wonderful person inside and out. Yes, she is. And she's gonna come. She's gonna speak to y'all because look, like we said, we're trying to learn how to stop the violence within our community, but it starts within ourselves, all right? Yeah. So
this is one of the reasons why we do the show, people, because people can hear and get something out of it. It's not about us. It's this whole. See, this whole, what you call the name of the show again?
Smack Show.
Oh, yeah, that.
What? The whole show.
I can't remember what it is.
The whole Smack.
You ain't been going that long. So.
Okay. This is all God put together. This is not us. This is strictly God. Yeah. But we're going to bring on this next lady, Bob. We love her. She's a beautiful woman.
Yes.
I mean, she going to shoot you straight on the hip. Boom. You know. Yes. So come on, y'all. Let's show some hard stuff for this.
We're gonna give it up for Miss Faye, and we're gonna get her hooked up, y'all, to the mic. Make sure y'all can hear her.
Yeah, let's show her some love, some man. She said she was nervous. I said, you ain't nervous. Yeah. Come on, Sharon. That's right. Come on.
We are sorry we kind of went over our time, but it's okay because we're going to get the same amount of time. Yeah. That's the good thing about being live and having your own show. You can do kind of what you want. So we're going to give you the same amount of time that you need.
Well, I need y'all to ask me some questions. Listen.
Look, John's situation, I mean, your situation too. John's situation, just listening to his story, it's almost like he can make a movie. You know what I'm saying?
One thing I do notice is that when John was sharing his testimony, his story was going on you, both of you guys was at work.
Yeah.
Yes.
When it's happened.
Yes.
So we're going to let you share what you can, what you feel in your heart that you want to explain to the people.
Okay.
And then we're going to kind of like slide a question to and then just kind of let you have
Okay.
You know.
Well, hello. My name is Miranda. I am Marcus Jackson Burton's mother. And yes, my son was murdered August 4th, 2020.
Yes.
And have that, ladies?
Okay. So,
okay, so I wanted you to kind of tell the people about yourself. A little bit more about like just how many kids you got, whether the sisters that he has.
Okay.
You know, how many kids that he has, like stuff like that.
Okay. Well, the first thing I'm gonna start off with, I'm giving God the glory.
Come on, y'all. You better tell us about God, y'all.
Because had it not been for him, I wouldn't be sitting here with you ladies right now.
Amen.
Because it was a struggle for me to even get out of bed. Because my world was completely turned upside down behind this. You know, but I knew God. And I have two aunts and my mother have all lost children. And seeing them go through what they went through and how God is the same God. And he brought them out. So I knew then I was going to be okay.
Amen.
So you want to kind of, so do you, well, I don't know how much you want to tell you. You want to kind of tell us, I mean, like, did you get the phone? How did that happen?
Let's say first of all, let's say that everybody heard the story, that he lost his life, he was shot at Wing Heaven, and it was during the daytime, broad daylight, and I think it was a shocker to everybody. But then when we found out that it was Faye's son, it was like, wait a minute, this is Marcus Faye's son? Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? How was it when you got the call?
But can I say something first? Let me say this. People, quit putting stuff on Facebook before family members find out what's going on.
That part.
You know,
you're doing that. I mean, why?
Because people are going to be people, and that's what they do. They don't think about the family and what the family go through. Well, for me, I didn't get on Facebook that day. So I didn't see it on Facebook. But I was told that people was recording, and to me, you know, with Marcus being who Marcus was, it was just like, okay, what about his kids?
Not being considerate of that.
Very inconsiderate for his kids, for his family, for his mom, you know. But, you know, people are people. But you can't hang on to what somebody else do. because you got to be the person that God made you.
Come on.
Right.
So.
Come on.
And with that being said, yes, Marcus was murdered, and the perpetrator was caught.
Okay.
And now we're just waiting to go to trial. And with my faith and belief in God, I know that we're going to get justice for Marcus.
Amen.
But today, we're not here to talk about
we're not.
Marcus's murder.
Yes.
We're not going to focus on
We're
that.
not.
Amen.
We're going to focus on Marcus and what he did.
Come on.
Tell us about him.
And
Tell
who
us
he
about
was,
your baby.
the
Come
man
on.
that I raised.
Tell us.
the
about
giver.
Tell the world. Come on.
For those of you that don't know, like John said, which I didn't know this part of it, John's daughter was 7 when she died. Marcus saved 7 people's lives.
Wow. Look at that.
In the Bible, 7 is completion.
That's what it is.
And I came to terms with that if it was in the will of God, Marcus would have still been here. Because I know what God say in his word.
Yeah.
But by his stripes we are healed. But when the doctor came in and said that Marcus was an organ donor, I did not know he did that. But then to find out that he could make a difference and save 7 people's lives, I'm like, okay, God, this is you. This is completion. But I'm thankful for the time that he gave me with my baby. So that makes a difference too. And
Well, the crazy thing is that even when we were putting this show together, I'm like, well, I want to have Faye come on and talk, and John, you know, because y'all have similar. And the crazy thing is that it happened so far apart from 10 years apart from each other. You know what I'm saying? But then we talked to Faye. Faye told him, Miranda. I'm sorry. That's her nickname. We can't call her Faye. But for her to talk to Mom and say she knows John. We're like, I'm like, what? Already, John and her done. I mean, it's crazy how God intertwines and brings people together and whatever. I didn't know that y'all knew each other before this day. You know what I'm saying?
well, John worked with Marcus.
Yeah.
So he knew Marcus from work.
Look at that.
And John called me one day, and I had just went back to work after everything had happened, and he called me. And he said, you know, Marcus came to me vividly and told him to tell me everything that I needed to know about the gift of life. And for that young man to just reach out to me like that, and he didn't have to do that, was just so amazing to me. So,
Wow.
yes.
I know you said you didn't want. I just want to just one. You know, as a parent, I can't even imagine or fathom being in a situation of getting a call you at work and someone calling and saying this and that. I just want to ask you, at that split moment, what did you think when you got that phone call? What ran through your mind?
To be honest with you, I really don't know.
It's like you went numb.
I didn't really go numb. I went to my supervisor, told him I gotta go. My son had been shot. I got in my car and I just drove to Sparrow. I called my husband. I told him I need you to get to the hospital. Marcus has been shot. And from that point on, all I could do was just begin to ask God, give me strength. Whatever I have to endure, whatever I have to go through, just give me strength to make it through this. And I, like I said before, I give God all the glory for this because there is no way naturally I would be able to be sitting here right now. There's no way. And like John said, you know, we have to forgive.
That's right.
And for me, it goes a little bit farther than that.
Okay.
Because not only did I lose my son, but the young man that killed my son, he also has a mother. And with that being said, I began to just pray for her because I don't know what she's going through.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know how she feels. All I know is how I feel, and I lost my son. And she's going through not, I can't say the same thing, but she's losing her son in a sense also.
Yeah.
And for me, I guess I'm most happy about Marcus being an organ donor.
Yeah.
Because that way I know that even
like,
though he's not here with me physically,
different pieces
he'll
of him.
still be here with me forever.
Yeah.
So, and I really hope that organ donors, the
Reach out.
recipients, reach out to me so that I can see who have his heart.
Yeah.
I want to meet the person that has his kidneys or his liver or whatever, and just get to know that person, because whoever has his heart has the heart of gold.
Oh.
So, that keeps me happy, and that makes me smile.
I love those stories.
Man,
we're gonna let her tell us a little bit about Marcus.
So just tell us personal stuff, like just
what
kind
he
of
do.
person
Like,
he
we
was.
already know, like, he was a comedian and stuff, but
Yes,
the world don't know. But tell her how he was doing big things.
Was Marcus the comedian.
Yes.
Marcus had the opportunity to open up for Kevin Hart,
Saw pictures.
Ricky Smiley,
Nice.
and he did 2 shows with DC Young Fly. So he was on his way.
Yeah.
And now I feel like God has given me the mantle.
Yes.
And to continue Marcus's legacy. And he won't be limited to just Lansing.
Come on.
Now he's making a difference in the world.
Yeah.
He's truly making a difference in the world now by giving to the gift of life. So I am proud of my baby.
Good.
He also had kids.
Yes, Marcus has 4 kids. He has 3 boys and 1 princess.
Now, how are the kids doing? How is your family coping with the fact that he's gone? Like, well, we know now that because
our
of God,
faith has sustained us all through this.
Yes.
This has not been easy for any of us, but God is good.
All the time.
God is amazing.
What would you tell somebody as well that's going through something like this, that that may have lost their, not even just say to a shooting or whatever, but that just may have lost a child, period? What would you say to them for how to deal or cope?
Yeah.
What would your advice be?
Yeah.
Be the absolute best parent that you can to your children, and cherish every moment that you have.
Yeah.
But we're not going to keep talking about Marcus and his death and all that.
We're going to go on back to it.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to what she wants to say.
We going back to
Yeah.
the Black community need to think about donating.
Yes.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah, we do. We
do.
need to think about donating.
And that's true because
our organs.
because I know whenever I say anything about the fact that I'm an organ donor, because I put that down on my license. Everybody's like, oh my God, I'm going with everything that I came here with.
But it's like do nothing in the around.
Yeah, and it's like that's so to me that's so selfish.
Not only that, our community makes up the largest group of minorities.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Get your facts. Get your facts.
Go ahead.
That are in need of transplants.
Yes.
Yes.
But
Yep.
we also make up the lowest rate of signing the donor card, or even thinking about and having the willingness to be an organ donor.
Yeah, because we always got some type of conspiracy theory thoughts that.
Like, I ain't signing that paper, girl, because then that's gonna mean something's gonna happen to me, and then
But nothing's gonna happen to
And
you
the
because your soul is already gone.
That's
you're
right.
gonna be.
And that's what I told people when they say that to me. It's like, you ain't gonna be here. Your spirit is gone.
Yeah.
And what's even more sad is that we have a much higher rate because of the diabetes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And because of the high blood pressure.
Yep.
And with that makes us more.
Like your kidneys go bad.
Yep.
Like what they call it?
More susceptible to other issues.
Like being diabetic.
And it makes our organs fail.
Yeah.
So and as a mother of an organ donor, knowing that Marcus was able to give his life in such a tragic way, it just gives me the strength And it strengthened my faith even more to know, that I believe that God is just giving me my mantle to help educate our community. And to give them, and giving me a platform to be able to talk about organ donations in our community. Because in our community, it's not talked about.
No. And honestly, I learned something new today. When you came in and told us that, I didn't know that. I didn't know that our people were the people that needed donors the most.
We
but then we're the least to donate.
We are the least to donate.
Wow.
We are the least to donate. And like I said before, and although he's not here with me physically, I still believe that my baby is still here because he's still making a difference in somebody's life.
That's right.
And that's the most important thing.
It is.
And to me, he did what God wanted us to do. He wanted us to help people. And Marcus went to his grave knowing that. And like I said, I didn't know he was the organ donor until the doctor came in and was like, let me tell you about how amazing your son was. And I'm looking at him and I'm looking at my husband. And you're like, what are you talking about? And he was like, well, Marcus was an organ donor.
Wow.
And my whole face probably just changed right before the doctor, because I'm like, what?
Now, what was your first thought? Like, were you like, you about to cut my baby and take out his organs, or did you?
No, because, prior to this, I had a conversation with Marcus. And I was telling him that I wanted to be an organ donor. And if something ever happened to me, this is what I want you to do. Not thinking at 26, 27 years old, Marcus actually took to heart what I had said, because I had no idea he had did this. Marcus died at 32. Marcus hadn't renewed his license yet, so he did this in his 20s, at least age 28. And at 28, young black men don't think about that. No. So even with him doing that, just put a smile on my face, and it let me know then everything is okay.
Mama.
Yes.
And the crazy thing, even with his career, like him being a comedian, people become comedians to make people smile, to make people laugh,
That means you care about people. Do the body good like medicine.
And the thing is that now that he's not here to even give his organs, now he's able to still make people smile.
And and you asked me about the kids, and his youngest came to me one day, and I was having a bad day. And he looked at me, he said, Nana, don't cry. My dad was happy. And he wouldn't want you crying.
I know my babes.
And that right there just changed my whole day for a 6-year-old to take such good care of his Nana like that. I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful.
But that showed what he instilled. Well, you instilled in him.
And he
instilled in the baby.
Yes.
So good job, Mama.
Well, thank you. And I also have some more information for you guys. If you want to find out more about being an organ donor,
listen, people, write it down.
Come on.
And we probably put it on the website.
Okay.
On our page.
Okay. Go to OMH, U.S. Department of Health and Human Service Office for Minority Health. And they can give you plenty of information about being an organ donor. And I can't stress the importance it is for our community. People talk about us saving our own community and giving back. If you can do anything, please. I really ask you to consider being an organ donor. It makes a difference in our community. Because
think about the insurance that we have as minorities, and not just saying like everybody that's a minority is on like Medicaid or anything like that. But for lower income black people that don't have enough money to maybe have a surgery or get an organ, they gotta wait on a long list, you know what I'm saying, to get the organs. And if we don't have them, it might only be 3 out of 100 people that get saved because we won't donate. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, if you could be a person that will help give life, if you cherish your life to the place where you don't even want to die, like I don't even want to sign this because I don't want to die. At least say, but you know what? If something were to happen to me, because I don't know the plan that God has or whatever. I don't know how this is gonna pan out. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign this so that when I leave, I can leave a legacy of life for somebody else. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just listen to the mother and the father of the victims. Yes. Crying out basically and saying, listen, it's not nothing wrong with being an organ donor. Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's a blessing. Yeah. To be an organ donor. Amen.
And not only that, when I was doing research earlier today, I also saw that in the Black community, we be on a waiting list for over 1,300 days. Yeah. Wow. Whereas in the white community, it's half that amount. Wow. Yeah. So we really need you guys to think about donors. Being a donor. It's so important that we do. Yeah. And ladies, I want to thank you guys, first of all, for smacking me. It was so amazing. Yeah. You ladies rock. You ladies rock. And for always being here. And Mama Barnett, you the boundary. I love you too.
Yeah, we tried to make sure our timing was right. We wanted to make sure the timing was right.
Right. Well, and basically, we wanted to give you the platform to be able to speak and say what was on your heart, what was on your mind. Yeah. You got something you want to say?
I just wanted to just give her the opportunity. She not.
Look, get these organ donors.
Yes, the organ donors.
So I just want to say thank you for coming on. Thank you for being vulnerable and letting and putting your heart out there. Yes, and letting people see you be strong. Yeah, I know it's hard to be strong when you're going through something because I've been through some things myself.
She told her story. What was your story last week?
Right. Yeah, or 2 weeks ago. Right.
But God.
I'm gonna tell you like this: God makes everything better. I mean, at the end of the day, regardless of what you believe or not. God has showed up in everybody's life in some way. Somebody. One, if you woke up this morning. Yeah. Come on. So if you woke up this morning and you know you ain't do it by yourself. Yeah. You can't do it by yourself. You breathing in oxygen to be alive. Yeah. Who did that? You know what I'm saying? God. You know. So at the end of the day, we all got something to be thankful for. Let's lean on one another, even though like people say when we grow up. And, you have a village of people that help your kids raise your children. Yes. We are each other's village. Yes. The Smack Show is a village. Yes. Okay? We're trying to be a village to the community, let people see we can support each other. Yes. We don't have to hate on each other. We can love each other. We can lift you up. We can bring you again. We can surprise you. We can put a smile on each other's faces, you guys. Yeah. Because there's enough going on in the world that will make you want to cry, that will make you frown, that will make you want to fight, all of that. So how about we come together and be each other's village? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just want to say thank you to Miss Miranda, Faye, and to John once again for y'all coming on here. That really touched our heart. Y'all just don't even understand. And we want to say thank you. And I know the people out there look all the hearts. We want to say thank you to the people. Thank y'all for being with us for 25 episodes.
Thank you for watching. Okay. Thank you for your support. Y'all been getting so much love on our feed.
And we appreciate it. People continue to lift them up. Yeah.
People
because
pray
we
for
know
them.
that God is taking them through. But you know what? You can never get too much prayer. Never. Just continue to lift up your family. Yes. Even when you see them in the street, just say, I'm praying for you, I'm praying for you, sister.
And you ain't gotta say, how you doing? No, don't ask that.
Show some love.
If y'all need prayer out there, we here too. I mean, just inbox us something. And we may not actually call you, but if you just let us know what you need prayer for, we can put you on a prayer list and lift y'all up in prayer. That's what we do. We are a village, okay?
That's what we do.
And think about people like this, because I do this to a lot of my friends, and because I don't like to talk on the phone. But what I do is I just shoot them a text. I love you, thinking about you. You was on my heart. Just wanted to let you know that I was thinking about you today. That's all you got to do, and that'll brighten somebody's whole day just to know that you were on their heart. You don't have to call people all the time. You don't even have to respond. I just want you to know that I love you today. You know, because sometimes that's all people need.
Yeah.
All they need to be
But see,
knowing
that's
what they
why we
thought about.
smack. That's why we
Yeah,
smack.
that's all the smack show
Not
is
like
about.
this. That's why we smack people to let you know we care.
So once
Right.
again, if y'all want to donate to our shows, we continue to be a blessing to people.
Yeah.
Y'all donate to the Cash App $Smack Show.
Yeah.
And like I said before, y'all, thank you for staying with us and sticking with us all this time. Catch us November 22nd. If you
November
don't know,
22nd.
I mean, every Sunday we here at 7. Y'all know what? If y'all see us in the streets, we gonna always talk.
John.
We love y'all. Y'all have a good night and thank you so much for being